We're going to continue from where we stopped last week. Remember, last week we looked at the brief historical background of Nigerian politics. We talked about how the British government came into Nigeria, seized the colony of Lagos, seized the Lagos and made Lagos a colony, you know, for which some people said is due to economic gain instead of just place then. Then we also discussed how they made other areas as the protectorate, and how we also discussed how indirect rule came into existence in Nigeria. So we discussed that extensively. We also we also talked about the merits and the demerits of indirect rule. All right. So today we'll be looking at the amalgamation of 1914. Okay, that's what we stopped last week. So we're going to be starting from there. The amalgamation of 19. All right. So the amalgamation of 1914. Now, basically, when we talk about amalgamation has to do with the joining together of the northern and the southern protectorate to form as one. Okay, and this was actually done in the year 1914 by Lord Lugard. Just like I told you, he wanted to have control over the area called Nigeria. Okay, he was also, like we discussed earlier on, he introduced indirect rule in Nigeria and everything. So in order to bring Nigeria together, he had to merge them together in 1914, which is actually the amalgamation. Have had come up with a lot of undertones as far as this amalgamation is concerned. Some have said amalgamation had some positive um, effects in what we call in Nigeria now, while amalgamation is actually the problem that Nigeria is facing today. So I'm going to look at it realistically. We're not going to effect, but we're going to look at it holistically as far as history of Nigeria is concerned. All right. Now, in the annals of Nigerian history, okay, there's been a controversy, just like I told you. Debated to be the basis of problems we are facing in Nigeria. That some persons they said the amalgamation is actually ill conceived. And because of that, it has actually formed major problems that Nigeria is facing today. Now, some persons have also opined that which ought to serve as an unifying factor. That's the amalgamation. Now, the British and the Southern Protectorate that was supposed to serve as a unifying factor has turned out to create an endless animosity between the protectorates because none of them was prepared for it. We are looking at people's opinion as far as amalgamation is concerned. Now, we said amalgamation has to do with the journey together of the Southern and the Northern Protectorate. It was supposed to unite, has created a lot of problems as well between the North and, of course, the South. Why people that live in both in the North and the South were not prepared for this unification. They were just taken unawares. So that becomes his own argument. Now, in retrospective, now, for example, southern Nigeria and northern Nigeria, they were actually coalesced together in 1914 to form a single colony of Nigeria, just like we said. And this unification, according to Ojako and the rest person that have done this research, have said that this consummation was actually purely for economic reasons rather than political. Because then, during Lord Lugard's time, he discovered that the North, okay, lacked a whole to now consummate both the southern and the northern together, so that the surplus
Mr. Badi, I don't know if it is from my end or from your end. I'm not sure. I can't hear you though. But let me confirm from the students if they can hear you. Victoria Bisola Shoremekun, please unmute yourself. Let me confirm if you can hear your lecturer. Please, Victoria Bisola Shoremekun, please unmute yourself. Umukoro Patrick, Kate, please unmute yourself. Umukoro, please unmute yourself. Tukura Uman TV, please unmute yourself. Tosin Shola, please unmute yourself. Can you hear your lecturer, Tosin?
No, not at all. It's not clear.
Okay, but can you hear him now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, him, your lecturer.
Now, no.
All right, thank you. Let me try one more person. Taiwo Molara, please unmute yourself. Taiwo Molara, Suzanne Udo, please unmute yourself. Stephen Shedrack, please unmute yourself. I need to get feedback from 2 or 3 people. Susan, can you hear your
Sir,
lecturer?
no, sir.
All right, thank you. That would do. All right, thank you.
The heart was not difficult. Wondering if I was truly losing more unbearable.
Mr. Buddy, if you can hear me, you've been unmuted. Please say something. We still cannot hear you. We still cannot hear you. Please let's be patient. The lecturer wants to at least try logging again. So please let's be patient. Thank you. Please, you have to be very patient. Please just hold on, be patient. The lecture will bring you soon. Mr. Badi, you've been unmuted.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Sorry
Mr.
for
Badi, you only have 10 minutes
yes,
now.
yes. I just noticed. All right. So good evening. Sorry for okay. All right. So let's see what we can do within these 10 minutes that I have. Sorry for the network. So we're talking about the amalgamation of 1914. Okay. So according to Jacob, like I was explaining before, it was aimed at bringing the northern and the southern protectorates together. And one of the major reasons for this joining together of the north and the southern is that the southern they were enjoying because of the vast trade that was going on, especially in Lagos and everything. So there was surplus of budget compared to the north that was actually lacking a whole lot of areas. So one of the major reasons for this amalgamation is for economic benefit, so that the surplus from Lagos could be used to offset the deficit that we have in the north. Okay, so Lord Lugard in 1914 brought to the Nigerian Council, History and Deliberative Board. All right, so that is that for the amalgamation. So that amalgamation actually created three constitutional instruments. We have the Order in Council, okay, which existed before the amalgamation. We have the latest patent of 1913, and of course, Nigerian Protectorate Order in Council in 1913. All right. Now the composition. Let's look at the composition after the amalgamation. Okay, after both the northern and the southern were brought together, the composition include official members were 23. Okay, unofficial members, these are European members, were 7, and then the unofficial members, which are basically Africans, were 6. Nigeria was not the only country that was colonized by UK, okay, by the British. So that was the composition of the council. Remember, I said the central government was in Lagos, where the Blue Guard was actually ruling through, and then also established the legislative council. So this is the council that we're talking about. That had 23 official members, which are actually Nigerians, then 7 unofficial members, which are actually Europeans, and of course 6 unofficial members, which are Africans. All right. Now let's look at some of the problems that came with the amalgamation, which some persons have also opined that that's the problem that Nigeria is facing today. Number one, number one criticism is that it was carried out without any form of consultation between the South and the North. So it was a forced union, a forced marriage between the North and the South. That's number one criticism. The Northerners were not, carried along. We're not told about it, because I'm sure if they were told about it, they would have had to say whether they want the unification or not. So that became one of the major criticisms. Number two, unification was consummated purely for economic reasons rather than political, just like I've explained, because of the deficit in the north. So there was need to use from the to nation. So when Lord Lugard was actually amalgamating the southern and northern, he told them it's actually for political reasons. So there will be equality in the government. Everybody will be represented. But over time, we discovered it was purely economic reason rather than the political reason that Lord Lugard actually gave them. Though the South didn't have any problem with that. Okay, it was actually enough that had the problem. Number three, it brought about persistent government and governance because of the northern, like in Nigeria, we have different ethnic groups. Okay, we have we go to the north, there are different ethnic groups in the north and the south. There are so many. So that brought about a lot of differences because one is coming with their own culture, with their own perspectives, and the rest of them. That also created a very, very big problem during that time. Before, the colonial masters never deemed it fit to put up a narrative process that could help through this forced marriage work. Now, I want to also note something here that even when this problem was actually when Lord Lugard and his government actually noticed these things, they never put any measures in place. You understand, to at least solve this problem between the north and the south. This one is just what he's going to get, how his government is going to sustain both the north and the south. Because like I told you guys last week, The Queen of England and the government in UK, they were not ready to send money or resources down to Nigeria as a government because he even had a shortage in both the resources and the money and everything. So he was now forced to generate money to govern the whole of Nigeria. So his own is just for economic reason. But not also that we have to get support from the south to also take care of the north. The another criticism that we had is that the northern province believed that it was injurious to the interest of the north. Okay, because of the backwardness and that it was due to restore advance of southern influence and cultures, like I explained earlier on. One of the major issues we're having today is because the northern protectorate believe that this amalgamation actually brought in southern influence and southern culture, western education, western way of life to them, because they believe then during the amalgamation the north were actually backward in so many things. So the amalgamation actually exposed the north to this this southern influence and culture, western education, and the rest of them. It was a very big problem in the north because it was not their ideal, it was not their belief system. That's why you see all these um, IC, Boko Haram, and the rest. So then they'll say they are fighting, you know, to stop this southern influence and western culture and the rest of the people. Then not from the south to the north. So that system, the amalgamation actually, brought about. Ujako, in one of his books, he said that the only thing that unites when you see the marriage between northern and southern working with each other, because don't always get into corruption. What am I going to get? So those are some of the criticisms that this amalgamation actually brought to Nigeria. Now, because of those criticisms, that was what led to the Clifford Constitution of 1922. So when left government, there was need to now look at some of these criticisms, some of these problems that we had that time, and then now give birth to the Clifford Constitution. I'll quickly introduce Clifford Constitution. The one will come next week. Hopefully, next week will be better. Then we'll be able to discuss it in details. What makes up the Clifford Constitution? What are the merits and what are the demerits of Clifford Constitution as far as Nigeria is concerned? But the establishment of the Clifford Constitution of 1922, okay, began political, later the reason for economic reason. That was one of the criticisms, just like I told you. But when Clifford Constitution of 1922 came, it was actually for political reason, even if
We are so sorry for the network issue, but your lecturer's time is up. So that brings us to the end of the class. Thank you.